Girls just want to have fun. And I know for a fact, I don't want to be the only fun person in a relationship. So who do we pick? The good guy or the bad guy? In my opinion, the good guy is just someone who's more calm. Someone who isn't challenging you. Someone who has a routine. They're a little more predictable, but they're someone that you can rely on. The bad guy is spontaneous. They're risk adverse. They're willing to take more risks. They're challenging their situation. Now, one is not better than the other, and there's definitely men out there that are in between. There's a scale, right? There's the good, bad, and then in the middle. Every woman is different. Every woman has their own preferences, but this is a majority and it's all hypothetical. Girls just want to have fun. So I don't know what would be more fun than to have someone choosing to do spontaneous things with you. I think that when we're young, when we're young girls, we don't really understand what we expect from men, but we do just want to have fun. Like, that's what we really want from the beginning. That's from the beginning. When we grow up, whether it's through a relationship or while we're single, we realize things that we want and things we need as women. And one of them is to feel young. It's to feel young. It's to feel like, you're in your youthful feminine. And a lot of us women, we go through our own traumas, whether it's through our family or through other men we choose in our lives. So that can have a great deal with our preferences. Women who have trauma where we feel like we are all over the place, like we can never feel balanced. We want a more calm guy. We want the good guy. And it has a lot to do with trauma. It has a lot to do with how we grew up, with what we feel like love is represented by. And then when a woman is, you know, more calm, she feels like her life is boring. She doesn't know what to do per se. She's a little more confused, I guess. She's going to prefer the spontaneous guy because he's allowing more opportunities to flow through their lives. If he is constantly doing different things, if he's constantly challenging, taking risks, there could be failures in there, but at least the woman is getting something out of it. So like I said, it has to do with a lot with traumas. And it's very subconscious with women. We don't really realize it until we're probably already in the relationship. And usually this is when we mess up. Women, we think that we want this certain guy, we have this image in our head, but our traumas and our bodily responses to stress and life tells us otherwise. We might think we want this, you know, spontaneous guy who is constantly, taking risks. He's always out in the world doing something. But our body does not want that. Our body wants something calm, something that's more predictable. So I couldn't even tell you what women prefer. It fluctuates. It fluctuates throughout our life and it fluctuates just naturally. For a man to tell us what they prefer, I don't even think a man can tell us what they prefer. Who really prefers one thing or over another? Everyone has a mixture of everything. A man can be good and bad. It's called the yin and yang. Like, there's no good without bad, and there's no bad without good. So, men, if you really think you need to be this bad guy, first of all, a bad guy is not someone who is doing illegal things. Let me be very clear about this. We love to mix up, being a good person to being a bad person and like this whole, I don't know, you're not going to jail. Like, women, we don't want you to go to jail. We don't want you to be a bad person. Okay? We just want spontaneity. We want spontaneous actions, not stupid actions, not stupid things. Okay? And any woman who is looking for toxicity in their life, any woman who is looking for toxic men, had a very toxic upbringing. That's a fact. And that is not looking for a bad guy. That's not a bad guy. That's a bad person. No one should ever be looking for a bad person. That just means they're going through their own bad traumas. They're going through their own things. Okay? So, a bad guy is just someone who is the opposite of a very calm guy. That's all I think of. That's all I think of. I don't think of a bad person going to jail or like shipping drugs. I don't know, narcotics. Like, we women, you know, we carry a lot of traumas in ourselves, and when we give birth to men, we basically transfer all these traumas. So I think it's really up to us with who we pick as our mate to, you know, solve our traumas, to feel better. And it's all about who we choose in life. It's all about the person that we want to be with. And that's a big deal. That's a huge deal for a woman. You know, it's all about picking the right person. And if you don't pick the right person, you're confused. You don't know if, you know, you're picking the right guy, good or bad. We just want the right guy. And we want to have fun, feel excited. We don't want to feel like it's boring. You know, boring as in just for the woman. Every person's different. I'm not going to define boring for everyone. But yeah, I believe that a woman will always choose a man with respect in the end, good or bad. A man can be a bad guy with respect. You know, he can respect the law and still challenge the law. Like, you know what I mean? You don't have to be a bad person to be looked for. You know, a woman will look for you regardless. I don't know. That was just a question I feel like a lot of men ask. You know, a lot of guys ask, what do women really prefer? Do they prefer a really nice guy or a really, you know, a really mean man who is just, you know, womanizer? Like, no. Womanizer is a bad person. Let me be really clear. Womanizing is bad. No woman wants a womanizer. A very traumatized woman might think she wants a womanizer. Like I said, it has a lot to do with trauma, and same with men. Men, you prefer whatever your trauma is given to you. Whatever your body needs, that's what you need. That's what you need. But yeah, I hope this helps someone. I hope this helps some people out. I hope, like, I don't know, it helps with how a woman thinks about a bad guy, good guy, because I don't really think a bad guy is terrible. And I also don't think a good guy is necessarily completely boring. I think that, you know, a man can have both traits and balance himself and the woman out. Yeah. I think that both men and women definitely have preferences that have a lot to do with their upbringing and then just expectations along the way with life. And it always changes. It's always changing. Unless you're with the person you love forever. Unless you really find that one person for you, I feel like a woman is always going to question it. Unless she really feels like she found someone. So yeah, there you go. There's the answer. Thank you, and I'll see you later.